Morning, family. I'm Drew.
Hey, Drew.
You're watching Addict Space, where we discuss everything addiction. I got a special treat for you guys this morning. Brought a friend of mine, Albert Johnson. He's going to give us a little bit about his addiction, his life with addiction, and some tragic events in his life that have happened and made him the man he is today. I look up to Albert. He's very intellectual in recovery and a man that I believe the world should see raw. So, Albert, whenever you're ready, man, we can talk about how your addiction started, and go from there.
Okay. Good morning, fam. I'm Albert, recovering addict. Thank God for a 12-step program. What I'm about to talk about, I didn't come into recovery looking the way I look, feeling the way I feel, or doing what I do. I didn't understand the disease of addiction. And what I found out is I had to figure it out. And what I figured out, there's nothing to figure out. There's nothing to figure out. I have a disease of addiction. This the only disease that I have that I forget that I got. Because the disease of addiction expresses itself in an antisocial way. That makes detection and treatment hard. Thank God for Drew. It's an honor and a privilege to talk about myself anywhere. This is the only disease that you can talk down and out of the way. Thank God for a 12-step program. It started off for me, as a young guy, was talking to you earlier, I had addict behavior way before the drug ever came into my life. I was a guy who was hyperactive, and I liked the sugar. Anything sweet,
Yeah, right.
I liked it. Anything sweet.
Absolutely.
It was like, once I get something sweet, I'll bounce off the wall. You know what I'm saying? So if my mom's asked me and my brother to clean our room, we would take everything and throw it in the closet. But if she said, y'all clean that room, we're going to go to the store, we will fold everything. Because it was all about that candy.
Make it extra nice. Make it extra clean.
Yeah, make it nice. So anyway, as I'm going on as a little boy, I'm growing up, but I'm a product of my environment. Where I lived, I learned. What I learned, I practiced. What I practiced, I became.
How many siblings did you have?
I had 4.
4.
I'm a twin also.
Oh.
I have a twin sister.
Sister, good.
Yeah, we have 9 sets of twins in our family.
Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah, we have 9 sets in our family, right? And me becoming a product of my environment, my role models was the drug dealers and the guys who ran numbers.
Right.
I looked up to them. Things was fun when I first started using. And I used because everybody else was using.
Right. It's
You know
attractive.
what I'm saying?
It looks
It's attractive, right? So once I started using, right, I could become somebody that I wanted to be.
Sure.
Because I was really a shy guy. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to parties or dancing with a girl or something.
Yeah.
If I ain't have something in me, I'm shy. But once I get something in me, I become the life of the party.
Right.
And can't remember what I done.
And we enjoy that, and we feed off of that, and that and that continues our addiction even worse.
Absolutely. So now, I want to become what my role models are. I start selling drugs, and when I first started selling drugs, it was fun. And I'll never forget it. It was 1987. LL Cool J was singing I Need Love.
That's right.
190 Benzes, Toyota Crescences, Nissan Maximas, IROCs, right? They was out. And Frank Ski was over Odell's and he said, you'll know if you belong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Fila sweatsuits and the big dookie ropes, the
Right.
300 gauges. You
Yeah.
get a big old nugget ring, even though the ring's too big. You get a matchbook. You fold it up sort of
Big-
big medallion
big
on it.
chains.
You know what I'm saying? And on Sundays when I was Drew Hill Park, that's when the inner harbor was jumping then. You know what I'm saying? And man, my life was like, I was living a life.
Right.
You know, I was living a life. But then something happened though. And then something happened is, you know, we get locked up.
That's right. Tell them what happened.
Now once we get locked up, man, my disease went to another level.
Yeah.
It went to another level. It was no longer, you know, just a drug, right? My behavior that took over now. My behavior to getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. You know, my drug of choice became more.
Right.
Right, man.
Right.
It came more.
Much
you
as
know
we
what I'm
can
saying?
get.
No matter what I had, man, it was never enough. You know what I'm saying? And see, I was facing a lot of time, right? But fortunately, I come home. But I get locked back up.
When you got locked up, what was it because of? Obviously,
Yeah,
drugs.
because raid.
Oh,
Got caught in the raid.
okay.
Got caught in the raid.
The infamous.
Yeah, got caught in the raid. Come home, right? I got probation. That's my first conviction.
That's right.
I got probation. I went out Charles Hickey School. From Charles Hickey, I went to
Right where I
Boys
grew
Village.
up.
From Boys Village down Cheltenham, Maryland, right?
Yeah, I've been down there.
In a foster camp.
Cheltenham
You
Youth
know,
Facility.
Glenn Mills come into play. You know what I'm saying? But when I come home, I'm a different guy.
Right.
I'm totally different. I think I'm a man now. You can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do.
It makes you feel like, you know, anyone that gets locked up at a young age, when you get out, you feel like you got that
That Superman
yeah,
macho.
you got that certified, you know,
Right.
your captain status now. You're
Right.
just you're a man. You can't tell, nobody can tell you nothing.
Absolutely, man. And when I come home, man, I was vicious.
Mhm.
I was vicious, but I couldn't keep the behavior up without the use of
You
drugs.
still have to be the same behavior.
I had to be the same person, man. You know what I'm saying? And that ruined me. That ruined me now that I look back on it, though. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, that was the norm.
Right.
That was the norm because all my friends was incarcerated. All my friends was incarcerated. you know, it was like at one time it was a badge of honor.
Right.
You
You
know what
had
I'm
to.
saying?
You
Yeah.
weren't part of the crew.
True, you wasn't part of the crew, man. If you ain't been locked up. You know what I'm saying? But I found out, right? The worstest prison I ever been in was in my own mind.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I imprisoned myself.
That's right, and we do, and it is tough.
You
It
know
really
where
is.
I'm quite sure people that heard all over the country about the riots, right?
Right.
In Baltimore, and the guy who died, Freddie Gray,
Freddie Gray,
right? That's where I grew up at.
right there.
That's where it all started, right there. We used to call ourselves CBS, Calhoun, Bacon, and Stricker.
That's right.
Gilmore Projects. You know what I'm saying? And well, anyway, you know, we was doing whatever we needed to do to survive, right? So now, you know, I'm out there and stuff like that, right?
It was everywhere around you, right?
Yeah, everywhere.
So as a child, as a kid, as a teenager, you know nothing else. You don't
That's
even
right.
know if there's another state
That's
other
right.
than Maryland,
I
another
didn't
county
know
other
if-
than Baltimore.
I didn't even know nothing past Pennsylvania
Right.
Avenue.
So it's, I mean, you know, people don't understand sometimes these kids growing up these days, back when, you know, when Albert was growing up, when I was growing up, you know, we knew everything. If anything happened around us, it was like it was okay. So we didn't know no better if, you know, selling drugs was what everyone did.
That's right.
You know, and I can guarantee you in Baltimore City, selling drugs is rampant. It always has been.
Yeah.
So when you look out your door,
That's the norm.
the nice cars driving up and down the street, stopping on the corner, you know, you want to be just like them. I get it.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm doing what I do, and I get locked up again. And when I get locked up this time, I'm facing attempt murder and murder.
Uh-oh.
Facing attempt murder and murder. You know, and where I come from, you don't talk.
Hmm.
You don't talk. Whether you did it or not, you don't talk.
Right, Baltimore, the city of Stop Snitching, as well as the video Stop Snitching come out.
And at that time, Baltimore was the murder capital of the world. Not just the
Right.
United States,
Right.
but of the world. And we had what you call blue lights, and it was called us killing us equals genocide.
Mm.
And back then at that time, you know, so I goes, you know, to jail. I get found guilty. I get 67 years, right? Make a long story short, now I'm an 18-year-old guy on the Maryland State Penitentiary.
There's a lot of time.
Now,
That's a
my
ton
first
of
day
time.
there, Drew, I'm eating, the guy say, man, you got something on your mouth. I say, thanks, I wipe my mouth. Like 2 seconds later, he say, man, you got some sexy lips.
Oh, no.
And his action is like he's grabbing himself.
Huh.
I don't know nobody. This guy got arms big as my legs, man. Like he look like his Adam's apple got muscles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, man? So, man, you know, now I got a decision to make.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the decision I made was smack him across the bridge of his nose with that tray.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I found out when you go on lock ain't nothing but another part of the goddamn prison.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I come off a lock, you know, and I'm running wild, right? I'm doing me, right? And I'm taking, I'm robbing, I'm stealing, I'm doing whatever, you know, I'm just acting out.
Gangs in prison?
Gangs in prison. Gangs in prison. It went from CBS, right?
Right.
To West Baltimore,
Uh-oh.
right? From West Baltimore to Baltimore. Because you got DC dudes, you got DMI, you got BGF, you got Muslim, you got the gay dudes, you got all types of stuff
Right.
running around.
Yeah.
And for me, I wanted to belong to something.
Of course.
I want to belong to something, right? But then, you know, I'm running around, and this guy, this older guy, he had been down for like 27 years. And he pulled me up one day, Drew. He said, man, you're a nice guy, man. Why you keep doing what you do? I said, what you mean, man? You know what I'm saying? So he talked to me. He said, man, why don't you try to get up out of here? So, you know, I started going to the library, getting the law work on my case. You know what I'm saying? He helped me with my case. Long story short, you know, he helped me get the case. I get back in court. I give it back.
That's right.
I do 9 on the 6th step. I give it back.
Huh.
But before I left, right, we had what you call an 8-building count out. That's when the first 12 step first became a part of my life. You know, because Narcotics Anonymous was coming over the penitentiary. They saw the H&I.
This is Baltimore City, man.
Yeah, Baltimore City Penitentiary, 954 Fall Street.
Right.
That's when penitentiary life was over there. I live with thousands of killers. Well, anyway, it's hard to practice spiritual principles and love in the penitentiary. You know, and that's why I love the 12-step program so much, Drew, because I almost died for believing in what I do. You know, because in the 8-building count out, you had a lot of gangs meeting over there too, and they was going to stop it. But I knew if they stopped it, right, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Because the disease of addiction, right, is physical, mental, and spiritual.
Absolutely.
You know, the physical aspect, right, and the negative. When I first got incarcerated, I lost weight. I'm dark as I don't know what. Mentally, I'm closed minded. I ain't trying enough. Nobody got to see.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritually, I'm dead on the inside, right?
Shit.
And listen, I've never been in the service, Drew, but I learned how to read bars. I knew what a sergeant, a lieutenant, a captain, a major was. Because I needed to learn, because you can't address no sergeant as no CO.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
they want to
no,
help
they
you out.
earn that.
That's right.
They
They wanna help
earn
you
that.
out.
They want
Right?
they want to be called sergeants.
Yeah, and from my experience of going into the library, I can talk to somebody else about their case, even though I'm not now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, when I'm about to leave, you know, I would start lying. That's how I start lying. Nobody said nothing to me, but this is how I start lying. I would say, Drew, let me get your ID number, man.
I'm going
I'm
to
send you something. That's the norm that we do.
Right.
So and so give me your ID. That's the norm that we
I'ma
do.
send you
But I'm
package,
lying.
yo.
But I ain't doing none of
Put
that.
some money on your book.
Right, I ain't doing none of that. That's just the norm that we do. Right? Now, in the 12-step program that I belong to, right, that I love, right, it talks about playmates, playgrounds, and playthings.
Right.
Playgrounds is background the way. Playmates is people I use with. The playthings, what's in your wallet. Tell yourself your own story. My story, the only story to keep me clean is that I identify and relate to some stuff I've done. And if I ain't done it yet means you're eligible too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And see, man, we differ in degree of sickness. We recover at different rates. Meaning that some crazy stuff I've done, a lot of people haven't done yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and when I say recover at different rates, you got to put recovery like a bank. If you don't put nothing in it, you can't withdraw from it. You can't withdraw from it. You know what I'm saying? And I found out, right, that the disease of addiction is an ongoing process. And so is recovery. The disease of addiction is it's like Betty Crocker. Betty Crocker cake mix. Right? It comes with some instructions. And them instructions been working, man, for decades. For decades. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And somebody can bake a cake right now and use Betty Crocker, right? The instructions, and it's going to turn out good. That's just how the 12-step program is. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling you earlier, I had to figure it out.
Right.
And when I had to figure out, there's nothing to figure out.
Right.
It's already laid. Just like the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz was like made in like the 50s or whatever. Right? And you had the lion, the tiger, and the bear. And the lion, tiger, and Dorothy. Right? And the scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
You know, I look at the scarecrow as me being like a little boy, little scared, shaky little boy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and then as we going along, I become a Tin Man. You know, and they always say, follow the yellow brick road. Only time they had problems when they got off what?
Right.
The yellow brick road.
Man. Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they, and at the time in the movie, they found they wind up in something that I love. The poppy fields. I'm an opiate guy.
Right. Me
You know
too.
what I'm saying? Hey man, I fell in love when I first had an opiate, man. Hey man, lost dreams are awakened, new possibilities arise, man. And I first took an opiate, man. That was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. That to me at that time, right? There was no greater feeling than sex. You know what I'm saying?
I can't agree more, man.
Hey man,
I'm 100% an opiate person. Perks,
Yeah.
dope, like it just doesn't matter. That feeling of just warmth all over you, like a perfect blanket with no weight. It's amazing. And if I could eat perks or do heroin with no consequences or repercussions, I would do it for the rest of my life. Who would not want to feel, just like you said earlier on when you go in the hospital chart,
right?
not number 10, number 20, and they don't even have it. That's where I want to be. I want to feel that good every day. And if I can do that without having repercussions, stealing, come on, man.
And what I found out, that's inherently impossible for me to feel good, look good every day.
And how long? I'm 44.
I'm 54.
Right. So we've been doing this for how long, trying to get to that ultimate goal that we know we're never going to make. You just cannot use.
You know what, too, Drew? You know what's remarkable? What me participating in my life, participating in my recovery, is one word that I didn't know that I could get back. And I didn't know that I had a choice. Drew, I didn't know I had a choice. I thought I always had to use.
Right.
Listen, man, my thinking told me something wrong with you if you're not using. If you're not doing something wrong with you. Normal people, just in my thinking, normal people use.
Right.
I have to have something in me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have to have something in me.
Wake up and put it in you immediately.
Right.
It's no other way.
When the higher power waking up, the destructive power jump right on me and say, "Boy, what you gonna do today?" Man, listen, man. I'm going through this recovery process, right? I come home. I'm a guy. I had 5 sons.
5 sons.
I had 5 sons.
Unreal.
Yeah, 5 sons. Same mother.
Oh.
Right? Same mother. I got the 4th, Albert Johnson 4th, right? And then they come on down.
3rd,
No.
2nd. No.
I'm the 3rd.
Oh.
My son is the 4th.
Okay.
Then you got my other 4 sons.
Okay.
Well, I learned how to urinate correctly in prison.
Correctly? Was there a correct way?
The correct way to urinate is you urinate, you don't urinate on the toilet,
okay.
and you hold toilet paper, and you hold it and get the triples.
That's it.
I always was a guy who hurry up and urinate, and be urinating on myself while I'm still playing baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
3 more drips.
Well, anyway, in this process, right? I taught my sons how to urinate correctly. When they urinate, they get toilet paper, and I tell them, count to 20. When you think you finished, start counting to 20. Right in your mind.
Right.
That way you get it all out.
Right.
And being as though it's 6 of us and their mother, she's the only female in the house.
You gotta teach them
You
the
know what I
right
mean?
way.
You gotta teach them the right way. You gotta teach them the right way, right? So now, the first time I went to went to prison, right? I went from penitentiary to Jessup, right?
Right.
From Jessup, Maryland, right? I went back again while I'm home. But it was something different this time, Drew.
Right.
Being about participating in my son's life, my son's and I'm going on a trip, the pumpkin patch.
Uh-oh.
So I'm what you call a chaperone. Right? I got 2 of my sons and 8 other little guys.
Right.
Right? The pumpkin patch is in Jessup, Maryland.
Oh, wow.
The first time I stayed there 3 years. The last time I was there, I stayed 2.5 hours. Right? So we get to the pumpkin patch, we having fun and stuff like that, right? So the little guy's like, Mr. Albert, what pumpkin can I have? I said, you had any pumpkin you want. So you should have seen them little guys rolling the pumpkins and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm laughing. But I got paid for it, a gift.
Right.
Not in money. So the next day when we go to school, right, it's like 8 females outside the class. Right? So when I come, they say, Mr. Albert? I say, yes. First one say, thank you. Thank you. Because my son could not stop talking about you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, wow, somebody, talking about me.
Right, I did something good. Right.
In this process, they talk about attraction rather than promotion.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I believe, right, if you're not attracting nobody, you're not doing something right. You're not doing something right. Because you have to attract somebody behind you, same way as I'm attracted to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'll attract their recovery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can't do this by myself.
So that's, in what we do, I'm not going to just, hey, come here, follow somebody because they
Right.
want it. I want to, this is what you got? Show me how you got it.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's the
right.
attraction part, yeah.
You gotta allow your feet to match your mouth.
Right.
Because anybody can say anything. Like
Right.
Jay-Z said, you can talk shine off an apple.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, I'm going through the process, man, and I see my life start changing. Because guess what happened? I start building a relationship with police. Real simple.
Right.
The school got school polices. And this is how I started building a relationship. Nothing more than just saying, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So one day I'm going to pick my boys up, right? I'm going to pick my boys up to school. And outside the school, they got cameras. And they got buzzers. They got to buzz you in. But they wouldn't let nobody in. Right? So I buzz. I ring the bell. So he says, you Mr. Johnson? I said, yes. He said, I need you to come in by yourself.
That's right.
So when I come in by myself, I'm like, what's going on? Baltimore City had called the school because it was 2 guys they were chasing in the neighborhood with guns, so the school was on lockdown.
Oh.
But it's 2 doors, 1 police. So he asked me, he said, Mr. Johnson, can you watch that other door? I said, yes. The reason why, because my sons are here and other children are here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And from there, me and him built a relationship. Now you talk about a convicted felon, right? You're talking about a guy that hated the police, right? But now you talk about a guy that will tell the police now, check this out, man. I need you to make it home safe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't live the way I used to live. I lived like an animal for so long, man. I ain't got rich here, Drew.
Right.
And I ain't talking about money. I've accumulated what you call spiritual wealth. See, I can no longer fulfill a spiritual void with a physical solution. A physical solution. I come into recovery, right, with a fractured personality.
Right.
Right? Drew, do you remember riding your skateboard or riding your bike, right, and you fall on your arm, it ain't broke, but it hurt?
It hurts like a...
That's how my insides was.
Right.
And I'm not a guy that measures my insides with somebody outside. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I do not match my insides with somebody outside. Right? When I talk about fractured personality, right? I'm hurting. Right? But now that I'm hurting, right? Pain shared is pain lessened. Pain is pain. I don't want to be the same guy, right? And don't have the drugs to justify or rationalize my behavior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because some stuff I done, it was because of the drug. Gave me sheer willpower to do whatever I needed to do. But now I don't act on impulse. When I say I started getting rich, I started following some spiritual principles. You know what I'm saying? And one of the major principles is Honesty. Drew,
Oh, God.
I ain't talking about lying. I don't lie to myself no more.
Until you can literally be an honest person. Oh, the weight of when I used to lie my ass off.
That's there.
The weight of lying and having to compound more lies, more. My ex-girlfriend is a very honest woman, and she somehow instilled in me honesty. And she did things. She like would tell people things that you just would never say to someone, but she was honest, and it was an awesome trait, and I wanted it, and now I have it. I don't like to lie to anyone. If there's a problem, when you lie, the problem gets bigger.
Yep, the
And
magnitude.
your lies get bigger. When you tell the truth, everything ends.
That's how I got help with it though.
Right? Tell me.
That's what helped me. A former liar.
Former liar.
Yes. Told you I need you. I can't see the back of my head. The former liar, right? He got better with it, right? And in order for him to keep from not lying, he had to give it away.
Right.
Meaning that he opened the door, make a plan, feel it. You don't have to lie. He'll just look at you. He won't say you lying, but you will feel that he feel that you lying.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You don't want to feel some type of way when you talking. You know what I'm saying? You, as a man, you want to be able to look another man in the eye.
And that's one of the sad things, throughout life, we get these feelings, these emotions, these, when someone's talking, you call bullshit. We get these feelings, and when someone's lying to you, 9 times out of 10, you know the line.
Right.
Right. And it's just the whole aspect of lying just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So, if you're lying to my face, I know you're lying, you
Right.
know I know you're lying,
Right.
but you're still gonna
Still
lie.
lie.
Makes no sense, man. It really doesn't.
And what I found out is feelings is something I have a lot of and know a little about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Feelings is something I have a lot of and know a little about. But also, I found out feelings are not facts. Because feelings change, facts don't.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, right? Excuse me. If I don't change what I always done, I'm going to get what I always got.
Right.
I don't want to be a volunteer. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can be a victim or volunteer. I don't want to show up for pain.
Right.
I don't know nobody. I don't like pain. I don't want to hit my toe. That hurts.
It does hurt.
I don't want to
It's
bite
one
my
of
tongue because that hurts.
It's one of them really painful things, but it's very small. Bothers you. It's irritating when it happens.
And what I found out, my real value is being myself. See, because I can become what you call a chameleon. I can be wherever I need to be, wherever I'm at.
Right.
I don't care where I'm at, right? You can put me on the moon.
Then you blend.
I'm going to blend in.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You put me on the moon, I'm going to blend in. But there's no awesome, greater feeling than to be the man that I am today.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, listen, man. I'm living a dream. I'm really living a dream. Guess the dream I'm living?
Tell me.
That I don't got used no more.
Right. And it's a good feeling.
Man, that's a great feeling, man. Listen, I paid a high price to live so low.
Oh, God.
I
Nobody
paid a
could have
high
said it
price,
better.
man, to live so low, Drew. Listen, man, I was reduced to animalistic level.
Right.
Listen, even dogs and cats even know to go in the house when bad weather come. You know what I'm saying? I got to be out there because that's when they tell me I need to be out there.
Right.
You know, because I told you in the beginning I sold drugs, right? But at the end, I sold stuff, but it wasn't drugs. True. I was a guy, right, that sold macadamia nuts in black Cinnamon bags. It took a nut to sell a nut to a nut.
That's right.
Listen, man. After I sell one of them nuts, right, my thinking will tell you when them nuts real. Will tell when them nuts real, man.
Right.
And I try to smoke one of them nuts even though this nut made it up. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Crazy.
addict behavior, man.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
You know, I found mentally that I'm just absolutely messed up in the brain, and I feel like drugs was always drugs weren't my problem. I didn't have a problem with drugs. Drugs was my solution to everything. You know what I mean? I mean, I never just got drugs. There was always underlying issues, and my solution was to go to drugs to feel better. And they give you the feeling that nobody else can give you, and it's sad. But then when you get clean, you still have this. You still have to deal with this mental aspect of addiction. And if I still have the same problems and my solution was drugs, what do I do next? Well, I got to change my solution.
Right.
So that's where I'm at in life now, changing my solutions. You can get real bored around here. It gets, there's not that much to do all the time. We like to go for walks, whatever. So I need to, just like this is an outlet. I mean, I'm not sitting in front of the TV watching a TV show smoking Newports. I'm actually analyzing addiction and mine and listening to you and understanding the whole, because it's the same. The addiction's the same in both of us. I mean, it may make us do different things, but the addiction aspect of it is the same thing. It wants me and you to use.
That's right.
Just
That's right.
It's not after me more than you or after you more than me.
Right.
It wants us
It
both
did not
to die.
discriminate.
No, absolutely not. It wants to kill both of us, and
not necessarily physical.
Right.
Because
Right.
we both endured what you call a spiritual death.
And it's
The emptiness.
What's crazy is it's the only thing that can make me want to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Right.
love my life.
Right.
I love.
Exactly.
I don't want to die.
Right.
But this addiction will make me convince myself that I don't want to be here no more, and that's so far from the truth. But it attacks you mentally.
Right.
It attacks you physically, spiritually. It attacks you in every way, shape,
Every
or form.
aspect of your life.
To do one thing in everyone: take your life. That's the number one thing it wants to do, and is going to try. It's very hard to
Do you
do.
know what I found out too?
Tell me.
In using, you do two things every day. You put your life and freedom on the line.
Mm-hmm.
You put your life and freedom on the line no matter what.
Every day.
Every
Yep.
day, consciously or unconsciously. And what I found out, Drew, is if drugs the problem, what's the solution? That's why I say thank God for 12-step program. Because I found out, right, that the steps is my best defense against the disease of addiction.
Right.
Everybody's familiar with Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan, if not one of the greatest basketball players ever.
I love Michael Jordan.
Right?
He is a
Michael Jordan didn't come into the NBA with his skills. His skills were slowly came as through practicing every day, just like my drug use, right? Now, Michael Jordan, he was cut in high school.
No.
From
I
the high
didn't know
school
that.
varsity team, yes. Then he went to North Carolina, right? He went to North Carolina in 1982, right? They won a championship with North Carolina, right? Mike coming to the NBA league in 84, right? Mike going off, right? Now while Mike there, Mike is doing what he do, even though Mike a scoring champion, but it's a team game. It's not an I thing. Just like recovery, it's not an I, it's a we.
Right.
Right? Now, once Mike, get the players that he needs, stuff like that, right? They get a new coach called Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was their head coach. See, I ain't want to never be Michael Jordan. I'd rather have been Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere with this one. In 1972, Phil Jackson, he was with the New York Knicks. He had won a championship. He's what you call a role player. Like me, I was a role user. I wasn't the guy that had a treetop talk.
Right.
Right? I was the guy, what the drugs you gave me, right, was for use only. But drugs was to be used, not sold.
Right.
Right? So now, Phil Jackson, right? So Phil Jackson, he become a student of the game. Right? He becomes fundamentally sound. Just like with me, I became fundamentally sound how to use, how to get to use, find ways and means to get more.
Right.
And I always stuck to the basics. Right? Well, anyway, so as I'm going along and stuff like that, right? Michael Jordan won 6 championships. 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98. Then he got 6 championships with his belt. Right? But Phil Jackson, he becomes student game. He was the head coach. Right? He won 10 championships. No, 11, because he got one more than Red Auerbach.
Right.
But they had, now, I said the drugs was the problem. What's the solution? Right? They had what you call a triangle offense. Meaning that they not only just kept Jordan getting the ball, they kept the ball moving around.
Right.
So they started winning championships. In recovery, you got what you call the triangle of self-obsession. Self-obsession is the core of my disease. It's the core. Because I'm obsessed and compulsed with anything that I do.
Right.
Obsession is the thought. The compulsion is the physical act on the thought. Found out, check it out. I can't control my thoughts. I can only control how I respond to the thought.
Right.
It goes from a thought to a feeling. A feeling is not a fact. Because feelings change, facts don't.
Right.
Right? So now, right? I said I didn't want to be Michael Jordan. I wanted to be Phil Jackson because, you know, he involved everybody. Just like recovery, it's not a I thing, it's a we thing.
Right.
Individuals do not win championships, right? They win as a team. It's a team sport. I could not use without help. No matter how much money I have, I needed help to use. I needed somebody to get it, to sell it, to bag it up. I had to, you know,
Right.
Because Drew, I don't know nobody else, right? I never had no dope come knock on my door and
Never.
say, Albert, come get me.
No.
I had
Never.
to go seek it. You know what I'm saying? And I learned fundamentally, right? I knew how to cop anywhere. West Baltimore, New York, anywhere I go.
Any place in the world.
Anybody
An addict
can
knows
cop
how to
anywhere.
get what they
That's
need.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know how to get it.
Absolutely.
But what I didn't know how to get was recovery. I didn't know how to get recovery. Right? Now, once I started getting a taste of recovery, right, and I wasn't using no more, because I don't know, I cannot tell you when the obsession to use was lifted.
Right.
I can't tell you that.
Well, is it?
Yeah, it's been lifted.
Right.
It's
Okay.
been lifted. But check this out. It's the jury is still out.
Still
The
deliberating.
jury is still
Right.
out.
See, that's that's one of the things that I don't understand. I mean, does the obsession go? Does it go away and stay away,
Yeah, it goes with listen.
or
I have a disease of addiction with no known cure.
right?
However, can be arrested at some point, and recovery is then possible.
Right.
I don't want to release this animal.
But see, that's one thing about addiction is we can bring that back in an instant. So is there a way to keep it away?
Yes.
So
You prepare for the storm when it's peace.
right,
Meaning that the disease of addiction, right? Just because I'm not using the drug, that don't mean that the disease is gone. It's still in it's trying to live off my head.
Right.
Meaning that it's going to live off anything that I like. Anything that I like. You just got to know, you got to find out when the disease is active without the drug.
right,
The disease is active without the drug, meaning that, let's say, I got 15 pairs of Michael Jordan tennis shoes. I can't wear 15 pairs of tennis shoes at one time,
nope,
right?
right,
But the guy that I am, one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. You know what I'm saying? I got to have, I told you it's just more. It's just that it manifests itself in another area. And it can manifest itself in an area I never had a problem with. You know, that's why I gotta be vigilant.
right.
You know, because the disease, that's how the disease works. In my thinking, it works through boredom. I'm so used to ripping and running. It's not normal just to be sitting still.
It is a full-time
Job.
job
There you
for
go.
us
There you go.
to be an addict.
There you
Now,
go.
you cannot
There you go.
maintain a job every day.
Give it all the
is-
energy.
I mean, and the sad thing is, and I hear it from so many different addicts speaking, it's not only the drug, it's the process.
Yeah.
It's the like they they thrive off of the
You're
copy,
getting their youth,
right?
You're getting their youth. That's a high.
And why that is so attractive, I'll never know, because I don't want to go to these places.
Right.
Yeah. So in my mind, it becomes a second nature to just go be somewhere I never want to be and get something that I should never be putting in me. But it is something. I mean, it it tells me every single day in active addiction to do it, and it doesn't. Even sitting here, I know why, but it just doesn't make sense how we accept that this is normal to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So getting through that. I don't know. I mean, I'm new. I've been clean before. I know how to get clean. I just I don't know how to stay clean.
Recovery.
Right.
Recovery. Disease of addiction is just like cancer. You know somebody that had cancer, right? And through the grace of God, it goes away. Right? They can be cancer free for years, and it come back in remission. Right? It come back even harder, and take somebody out.
Does it?
That's the same way in recovery, right? Drew. Once you get a taste of recovery, you will never get high the same again.
Right.
The reason why, because you can't get your conscience high. And the conscience is guarding you. And your conscience tell you, this ain't right. You
Right.
might feel it.
Right,
You
right.
might feel it, but you're not going to enjoy it like you used to enjoy it
So now
for
I
the
got
first
a
time.
lifetime of getting high, feeling guilty.
Right.
Right.
And see, that's what it is. We addicted to feeling. We chase feelings. It's human nature to chase a feeling. A good feeling,
Absolutely.
I'm going to chase it.
100%.
I'm going to chase it.
Absolutely.
Regardless who I harm or hurt, right? I want that feeling. Right? So now, man, I'm in this process, right? I'm free to be me, right? I'm not co-stimulated or none of that, man.
Right.
And man, you looking at a guy, right? A convicted felon, right? Doing what I do, I was asked to go to the White House. I sat in chat with Dick Cheney. Me and like 9 other convicted fellas, but I'm the only one from Baltimore.
Right.
You had people from Detroit, Philly, the Mid-Atlantic region, the DMV, you know what I'm saying? And it was an honor and a privilege, man.
Absolutely, it should
I
be.
mean, listen,
and
man.
that's good
I'm
to
like-
have on your resume.
At one time, I thought everything white was crack. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Right.
And man, you talking about a guy, when I come home, I'd have been in so many places, man. I'd have been in Tupelo, Mississippi. I had never heard of it. I've been all over the Mid-Atlantic region. I've been to Philly. I've been to New York, New Jersey, DC. I mean, I've been so many places, man. I've been a lot of places. You're looking at a guy that come from out of Sandtown, Baltimore.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, man, people actually want to hear my story.
They do.
You know,
Absolutely.
people actually want to hear my story, man. You know what I'm saying?
And you've had some tragedies
Yes.
that really hit you in your life.
Yes, man.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm doing like I talked about my sons, man. You know, the situation caused me my health, you know, because, like Baltimore, man, you got a lot of gangs here, man. And no matter how your children is around you, when they go outside, they different individuals.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And the tragic part, man, you know, I lose a son. And I lose a son through another son. Right? Wow. Get a little lump on my throat about this one. You know,
Hold on one second.